Welcome back to the Bilges. This week we're diving into the unsung hero of any great build, the shower floor.
Okay.
Maybe we should start by saying what we're doing. You are making a very...
I'm making a shower floor. And of course, a shower floor cannot just be flat. 520.
Well, it's been a bit more than that because you've been thinking about how you're going to make it so that it will drain away without any of the water getting into the bilge, and the control of water flow, ease of access. There's a whole heap of considerations, and I know you've been working on this for quite a while.
Yes.
What was the main challenges that you had to overcome?
Okay, so one of the biggest challenges is making sure that we have enough fall in the floors so that the water doesn't pool somewhere we don't want it to. Yeah, because we're on a boat at the moment where the boat's trim isn't as per its normals because a lot of weight's been taken out of it. It's quite bow up at the moment, and one of the shower floors doesn't drain into the shower thing. It puddles in one corner, which is a pain. It's not a big major issue because you just put weight in the boat and the bows go down and the boat trims again, and it's not a problem. But in the other shower, they actually put more fall in the floor, and it's not an issue at all. It all flows into the drain, which is cool. So the issue that I've had to work around is I've got a level cleat base all the way around the floor, and I now need to make the floor not level but actually have a fall in it so that all the water heads towards one point to be drained away. The other big challenge that I've been facing is underfloor access. For me, access to the hull shell in every compartment is a must as a safety factor, safety consideration. I do not want any piece of floor without a hatch in it where I cannot access the hull underneath to inspect if there is any damage or ingress, whatever the reason has been, that I need to get under there for safety reasons. I need to be able to get under there, and I need to be able to get under there quickly. So that was another driver. It's the getting under there quickly part, because that drives the hatch design to a very large extent. So that means I need to have this big hatch in there, and of course that hatch needs to make sure that great big hole doesn't let water from the shower into the bilges. Alright, we're making wonderful hatches with gutters and drains for the deck to carry water away and be watertight. So basically this themed off that. It's exactly the same principles, but with some other considerations. So we've got this big hatch that's going to go in there. Big hatch being, this is actually the size of the hatch that's going into the floor. It's the same size as all the other hatches in every other floor. Okay, so there's a bit of universal sizeness there. But you can see it's just not a normal hatch, rim and gutter. It's got this contraption at this end as well. And this contraption at this end is quite important, and there's a lot going on in here. You'll see there's a few bits of geometry, and they have a lot of purpose fully designed thingeries in them.
That's some good words.
That's some gooder English.
Used up all your brain power on drawing it, and then you've lost
Yeah.
the power of speech.
Yeah.
This is a 3D printed male mold for your
For my
drain.
shower hatch drain. And that is going to be molded into my floor when I infuse it all in one hit.
Oh, that should be fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So it's pretty all integrated. But then you'll say, how do I get all my falls
yeah,
if I'm infusing it on a flat table?
I was going to ask you that.
Have I got some tricks up my sleeve?
We've got hydraulic rams under the table. No, we haven't. Kidding.
Yeah, so I actually infuse this floor in two pieces. There'll be an aft half, or an aft section, and a forward section. And the floor basically is sort of bent in half, so all the water will run into a valley. There is the chance of a port and starboard pooling, but if it does, it's going to be very small. And generally speaking, the trim transversely on a catamaran doesn't change much. They're pretty stable side to side with two hulls and pretty big. But their trim fore and aft does change a fair bit. So that's the trouble we're having with the other the big catamaran at the moment. She's bow up at the moment because all the weight's been taken out. So all the water slides to the back. And it's easy to trim it bow down by putting some weight in there, that the water will then flow properly. And it's the same with pike here. Whilst we've been doing this refit inside, by moving materials around, our rolls of fiberglass and foam and all that sort of thing, from aft bedrooms to forward bedrooms, we've changed the trim of the bow and the stern nearly 50 millimeters. So, that's 50 millimeters, that's 2 inches. So it's quite a lot that the bow and stern trims. And if I've got a floor that has a fall of only 20 millimeters over my thing, it's still more than 50 millimeters over 12 meters. But anyway,
Do I need to?
I need a lot of fall. If it was flat, it means that the water would go to the back or the water would go to the front, because it is 50 mil trim over 12 meters is a lot of bow down, a lot of bow up, and it means that water will pool at one end or the other. Yeah. So I put this valley in there, and the water will collect. Basically, let's put this way up, so it sort of makes a bit more sense. That this is the back of the boat. This will be cocked up. The water will all fall down this way, because this is a sump arrangement here. But then I'll have another piece of floor that goes from the forward bulkhead here, that then comes down into this direction, so it creates the valley here for all the water to fall down into this sump arrangement. So the shower will be here, falls on the hatch, falls over the edge of the hatch into the gutter, runs down, runs into this sump collector. The floor is valleyed on this side as well, so it all runs down into the valley and then into this sump. Now the sump is also all shaped and you can see there's a lot of fall in my sump here. So the water will run down into my sump here, collect, and there'll actually then be a carbon tube. Everyone's going to get excited using carbon fiber again. So it'll be a carbon tube that comes from here, that goes through that little bulkhead that's under the floor, and that tube will come through the bulkhead, and then that tube will go to the sump pump arrangement. Now, why is the sump pump arrangement in the compartment in front and not under this hatch? Because that was my original thoughts when I was having the big clever brain moment about, I've got this big hatch, I can keep everything contained, and I can put the pump under here, and everything's neat and all in one place, and everything's awesome. Except my brain didn't allow for reality.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Not the first time. Won't be the last time. In reality, what happens is when the pump stops working, the shower area fills up with water, and that's the first you know that your pump has died. Anyone that's in a boat and has a shower in the boat knows that the shower pan fills up and gets to just over the depth of your feet before you go, oh, there's something wrong with my pump and my shower is now about to sink my boat or flood my boat. So you've now got 40, 20, 30, 40, 50 millimeters of water in your shower pan area. Now, if I had a problem with my pump and my pump was under my hatch, which is in the middle of my shower area here, the issue is I now need to open my hatch to get to my pump to fix the problem. But my hatch now has 20, 30 millimeters of water on top of it. So the moment I open my hatch, the water goes to sploosh into my bilge and I end up with all the shower water in my bilge to fix the problem, to take the water out of the boat. So I didn't want that. So how did I fix that problem? Well, first of all, I separated the problem where the pump is not in under that hatch. So the pump now goes forward. The other way is sort of taking a step back and thinking about when we have issues with our showers, what are the issues? The biggest primary issue is hair. And it's not mine. So Hannah and the boys shed a lot of hair, which is, that's life. So, okay, we've got these humans and they're shedding a lot of hair. Let's catch the hair before it gets into the pumps and makes a problem for the pumps. So this is why my shower sump thing here has all this funny geometry, because this shower sump is also going to have a lid on it so that your foot doesn't fall down into the sump. So it'll look fairly similar to this. But when you take this lid off, there'll be a big stainless steel grate here that filters the big stuff, hair and stuff like that, before it goes through my pipe and into my shower pump arrangement. So I have a first line of defense here. And if my shower is flooded, the plan is that this hatch here is going to be built of foam and glass, that it actually just floats and lifts off and floats away. So it immediately exposes the hole for you to step in if you got soap in your eyes, but it'll alert you to the fact that the shower is flooding. So the floating lid floats off, and you have now got access to this screen arrangement. Now, that then gives you the chance to go and clean this screen of its debris, if that is what is the cause of the shower flooding. So I don't have to open the hatch. I can have my first line of defense with the hair here. All right, if that's not the problem and the problem is down in the shower pump. Now, this is pretty normal, and anyone who has cleaned out a shower sump before knows how gross it is. It's pretty horrendous. And that's also why the shower sump is being basically positioned front, center, middle, right there in the hatch of the floor in front of here. We'll go down and have a look at it in a second. The reason for that is super easy access and maintenance. That's for us is a huge thing. So to be able to just pop the lid off, this one is going to have a shower sump arrangement, not the whale gulper pump and little pot sensor, just because this particular shower won't be used very often. So the shower sump arrangement is a very good option, just because of its low usage. Though I'm thinking about it as the high usage one again as well, because it's much quieter than the whale gulper pump arrangement, but there's all these trade-offs you play between the different pumps. But anyway, whether it's this shower or the other shower that I'm doing, the pump will be in a separate compartment with the pump right smack there, super easy to access, so that servicing the shower pump, if something goes wrong, is super easy. Very, very important. So yeah, so that's the big driving things around the design of the shower floor. Of course, in this there is a toilet that has to go in here, and of course the toilet needs to sit up on a plinth so that we have the right sitting height, and that plinth is what I'm currently drawing out as a lift off or a stand up piece in the whole floor arrangement. So yeah, that's my current job at the moment.
Do you want to show us the floor now?
Yeah, let's go and have a look at the floor where the pump goes.
So I have actually sanded this out, sanded the bog down for you, and we've repaired that crack.
Yeah. So there's a crack on this side as well as the other side, because quite clearly somebody put a block of wood under there and pretty much punched a hole in the bottom of the boat. So that's been repaired. All is good, happy days. It wasn't us that punched the hole in it.
Yeah, you were gonna prime and paint that.
Yeah, so it's going to be primed and paint over the next day or so. But I did a whole heap of CAD modelling. Here it is. Cardboard assisted design. CAD modelling. This is how the shower sump and floor is basically going to look. One of the cool things with the cardboard that I can't do with the nice composites is the cardboard sags really nicely and gives you that fall for the water to fall into the thing. But I can't do that in composite, so there's a few trickeries that I've got to do to make that all work. But you can see here, this is basically how it's going to work. Where we have a cardboard floor, no, we have a composite floor.
I'm hoping for an upgrade from cardboard.
Yeah. We have a cardboard floor. It has a hatch type arrangement with the return up facing doodaddy, which is the seal blade that's going to go into the seal. The hatch itself will actually sit onto little steps in here as well, so you can't over compress the hatch into the seal or accidentally rock the hatch on the seal. There is also got to be a mechanism that holds the hatch down into place. It's actually a pretty complicated little doodaddy. There's a lot going on to make sure that this hatch, one, stays in its place, because when we flood here, and if there isn't a mechanism to hold it down, the hatch will float off. And if the hatch floats off, then all the water falls in. So we've got to make sure that we can secure the hatch down in position. Now, one of my criteria that I put on myself is I need to be able to remove this hatch without tools. So the mechanism for holding this down will be something to look forward to. You can see here that this is the gutter that then falls away into the sump arrangement, and then from here it goes through this bulkhead that I put in the other week, which then puts us into this compartment here. And because this hatch here is the uniform size of hatches throughout the boat, except for the ones where I forgot what the measurement was and winged it and got them a little bit wider, so they're not all there uniform through the boat. But because it's uniform on this side, no, those two are wider as well. Anyway, the aft cabin hatches that are all the uniform should fit in my doodaddy here, so you can see. Now the water comes down into the sump, then there will be a piece of carbon tube that comes out here, and that carbon tube will hang down here, which is nice, easy access to put a hose onto. And then here will be the shower sump pump arrangement. and it will sit on a little gadgety doodaddy that keeps that all in place. Then this has to pump the water back up through. So I've got to now put a hole in my nice new bulkhead that I made the other day for the hoses to run through, to then pump them out to get through to the skin fitting, which goes overboard, which is on the other side of that bulkhead. So there's also penetrations that need to go through that bulkhead. And I had to do a quick systems penetration drawing on the number of wires, plumbing and all the rest of it that were penetrating that bulkhead to make sure it had the right number of penetrations, the right shape of penetrations and the right size of penetrations to allow all those wires and hoses to go through.
Well, we spent a lot of time trying to not make the boat look like Swiss cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, needs to be pretty careful on what we reinstate back in, I guess.
Yeah. And there's you've got to start seriously thinking about the runs for the wires and the plumbings and stuff like that, because it's getting to the stage where we're down at these ends, where these things congregate, the wires and the plumbing and stuff like that. So I've got to start planning them out a little bit more and making the allowances for them. So yeah, so that's what it looks like in here with the basic mock-ups with my CAD model. And then we can show you the computer CAD model that evolved from the cardboard CAD model, because this served two purposes. One, it was the template for the floor shape to transfer onto my piece of foam up there. And then it sort of gave me an option to, with a hot glue gun, sort of just get a bit of a touchy-feely, this is how big it's all going to look and sit, and these are my options. And there's a bunch of stuff that you just can't do in a computer CAD model that you can in real life mocking up. You can do a lot in a CAD model on the computer, but there's a lot that you miss. And coming from someone that spent 20-something years of his life in front of a computer modelling boats, I can tell you that there is nothing like modelling and mocking stuff up for real. Yeah, so that's why I still do it. And yeah, I guess we could go and have a look at the computer CAD model now and see what it's going to look like. And some of the tools that I use to make sure that everything should fit, because there's some 3D scanning in there as well as modelling.
Here are the things that we've got in the bathroom. We've got the floor, and if we have a look at the floor here, we'll be able to see the floor is the white thing here,